Hey, what's up, folks? Back again to show you guys the single piece glass that I installed yesterday on my 57. Obviously, it's a vent window delete kit. I think it's awesome, man. I think it turned out really well. Not that hard of a job to do. I mean, there's a few things that are nerve-wracking, obviously, that I pointed out in some of the earlier videos. I'm going to put you on hold for a second. Here comes the train. Alright, I'm back here. Didn't want to ruin my video with the train horn in the background. As you can see, it runs right behind my house. Anyway, so got those two braces cut out. Really what I did was the one that I showed you guys the other day, I cut this one out from the inside or from the outside in. So I started out there, cut that piece. Once I started to trim on this, the spot weld broke off. Here's the piece. It broke off, which was a good thing for me. I mean, obviously it wasn't that strong, but you can see that weld there was less than 1/8 of an inch, maybe just over 1/16 of an inch. That was actually hanging on there, and then this weld here didn't do a whole lot. So anyway, it came out from this direction here, and so that came out pretty easy. And then on this piece that was here, what I did was I sheared it on this side, and I did it on the same side over there, and then I just kind of took my my hammer and a punch, and I just kind of knocked it. I bent it under, so it's kind of at this point the piece is kind of bent under this direction here, kind of goes back that way, in case I ever decide to, you know, put the vent windows back in. I can do that. All I have to do is fold that back up, do a little fabrication there, a little work on it to make sure that it's lined up the way that it used to be, and redo it. I put my glass sticker here. This was on the glass. I put it here just so I would have a part number for later on if I wanted to call and reorder that. I'm not, like I said, I think it came from Dan Chuck, but this PMKA diamond glass, I think they do a lot of glass for different vendors and such. So, but the felts went in really nice. There's still a little bit of adjusting that maybe I'll do on them, but you can see, I mean, it lined up really nice. I had to trim a little bit on this corner here because it actually sticks out past the door, so I think they do that on purpose so you can trim it. But as you can see, it's pretty darn close. It's coming down here a little bit, but it's not going to go up in there unless there may be something keeping it from the track there. But like I said, this is pretty dang close for the girls I date. And so I'm very pleased with it. On the other side, I'm gonna document a little bit more. Like I said, I just wanted to do this one. Oh, let me show you something. I screwed up. This is obviously, this being my first one, I read the instructions. I'm one of those that I'll speed read through and then I'm done. I screwed up. Anyway, I measured this slot in the wrong place, and so I put it at the rear of the door instead of the front of that cutout. So now I've got a nice little slot in my door that doesn't need to be there. What I'm going to do now that I've got all this done is I'm going to take this mechanism out. I'm going to bead blast it or get it cleaned up as best I can without getting too much junk on the internals. Same thing with all of the mechanisms here. The window rolls down pretty well, pretty easy. But my regulator's making all kinds of racket. You can hear it there. But it rolls up and down really easy. And the track's adjusted. Everything is really fitting snug and tight. I'm thinking that it will, once I get things going here, get all the seals back in, I'm probably going to get just a stainless steel screw to put here and put a nut on this backside, a real small one, to make sure that this is This hole here is filled in. And I'm going to do anything and everything I can. In fact, if you guys want to leave some tips in the comments section as to what else I may be able to do to keep the wind noise down the best that I can. I mean, these are steel seals. I pulled one of them off somewhere and saw that they were steel, and I know steel is probably one of the best vendors out there for rubber. And so I'm just ready to get this thing out on the highway and see what kind of wind noise I do and don't have. These side glasses, the quarter glass, I finally got the steel rubber grommets or wind weather strips. Got them in, test fit them. That's what this one is. This is just being a test fit on the original glass, which is not going to go back in. I mean, it's not bad at all, but for what I'm doing to this car, I'm not going to put scratch glass back into it. I'm kind of gone above and beyond with a lot of other things, and so I'm going to make sure that I've got the right stuff. So anyway, I took that over to a glass company on Friday afternoon. I dropped that stuff off, and it should be ready by Wednesday or Thursday of next week. They're cutting me out new glass, and it's supposed to match all the green tint, so should be good to go there. But anyway, I'm gonna start on this other side over here. I'm gonna show you guys kind of what it looks like before you get started, and then I'm gonna get it cut out, and then start working on it so I can kind of video document this. So here we are. Here's the original track that is in there. I don't know if that's the way that it should be or not. I don't remember it being like that on the other side. I thought it was stuck up against the feel better than that. But anyway, there's that, and then here are the brackets that have to be cut out. Like I said, this bracket here, what I did was I cut it right along this line here, and then I just kind of sheared through this the best that I could, and then punched it down into the door and left it. I didn't want to cut it off across here, because I feel like if I do want to redo this and go back vent windows later, or if somehow this thing ended up being a Black Widow car, which I've got to do a lot of research on to figure that out, but if this thing ended up being one of those cars, a Sedco car or something, and I wanted to go back all original with it, eventually I'll be able to do that. This piece here, same thing. Start on the inside or the outside and work your way in. If you cut this, and folks, I was using I started with a cutoff wheel. I went to a kind of a pneumatic saw, and I ended up with my DeWalt Sawzall was the best way to cut through it. I just kind of angled it this direction and went to town right there, just straight across, and ended up right here. And so knocked that out, and then same thing here. I tried to get behind the spot weld to cut the spot weld, so I started up here at the front, worked my way back, and obviously it broke itself off over there. So wasn't a bad thing for what I'm doing here. And so anyway, I'm gonna get that part done, and then I'm gonna start assembling the glass so that you can see how to do that as well. All right, thanks guys. All right, here we go again. I just wanted to I wanted to lay out all of the different things that you're gonna need on to do the glass here. First of all, obviously I've got my glass. I opened it up a little bit to make sure it was the green tint. I think I've already admitted several times that I've had nothing but nightmares getting this glass and getting the right ones here, and it's been a disaster. But anyway, I've got my glass. I have my my strip, my rubber strip that goes into the channel here. So this strip goes into this channel in a U shape. So you just kind of bend it like this here, like this, and then you will slide it. Well, actually, you put it on the lip of the glass, and then it slides down into this channel. And then there's a better shot of the channel. See, I talked the other day about how it's kind of pinched on the top, and you can see that just a little bit there, but that goes in there. And then this is the channel that goes in the rear, I'm sorry, in the front side of the door. This goes through, and what happens is you'll have a you'll go in like so with a nut on first that goes on, and then there's a washer that will slide that on there. Washer goes here, and then it goes in the door, right? So you got to drill your hole and make sure that everything is right on. Sorry guys, I'm trying to do this with one hand and not working out for me very well. Anyway, so this nut goes on there. This and then so this is what sticks out of the door here, and then you've got the other to go here. So what you got there is an adjuster screw, so you're able to make the channel go, you know, out or in as it sits in the door when you start adjusting and getting that in place. So it's really cool. So then you've got the channel itself. The glass is going to fit in this channel. You always got to make sure that you do this right. The back side of the door glass is actually a little bit taller than the front side, as you can see here. You can't really tell from the picture, but this side is a little shorter than this side. So I think there's maybe, I don't know, maybe a 1/4 inch, maybe even a 1/2 inch difference, but there is the back side is definitely taller. And so when you do this glass, you got to make sure that you put the channel on the right way. And the hook piece goes toward the outside of the door, and then the actual channel that holds it in place, that attaches it to the regulator, screws into these spots here, which I'll show you in just a little bit. I've got to get that thing cleaned up and shoot a real thin coat of paint on it. So I'm going to do that, but I just wanted to let you guys see all of this stuff. So there's that, and then here are my felts for the doors. They sent me, I guess I bought a kit, and I didn't have to, kind of dumb, but there's my felts. I'm not going to use the rears at all because I've got this new style weather strip that I won't need to use the rears. So I've got that, and then I have the actual window channel stuff here, and this is some real brittle, or not brittle, but very sensitive stuff that that you've got to be careful with. And so I'm going to show you how to do that too when I go through here. It comes in that box, and so it's all folded up, and I guess I understand why they do it that way, but you have to pre-bend it. You've got to bend it like to make it fit your corners, and I mean it's kind of tough to get it just perfect. Obviously, I did kind of the same thing that I did on my moldings, and I just, you know, I tried to get it to fit the best that I could. And before I put it in there, I finally got so sick of messing with it, I just said screw it and went ahead and did it. So anyway, that's all good to go. But I'm gonna show you guys how to do some of those, you know, bend those moldings the way that they should be bent, and then also attach the glass. So I'm going to come back with that.